Well, I'm live. Gonna start off with a little song, and then I will go right into my show. I think I'll play this for the remainder of the times of my show. Here we go, folks.
Oh no, the tears are falling. Cue the zoom and cue the lights. Oh, that's bright. One rehearsed apology, time to monetize. Your pain's a brand, your grief's a show. You cry into the camera, throw money. Is this real?
No.
Is this pain?
No.
See, or is this a Netflix deal in the making? Turn the volume up, it's primetime regret. Another life meltdown, place your bets. Stop crying on television and the internet. Watch we see through your tears and your empty thrive. Yeah, every soap story comes with a check, and we ain't buying your pain, not yet. Oh look, the influencers weeping again. I swear I'm so broken, like, comment, send. Eat your suffering, sell it as proof. A clown with a tissue in a soundproof booth.
These tears are heavily edited. Do you want to skip this trauma? Pay for premium.
Stop crying on television and the internet. What we see through your tutors and your empty thrive. Every soap story comes with a check, and we ain't buying your pain, not yet.
This has been another episode of Manufactured Misery. Tune in next breakdown.
All right. So, as I said in my what is written on my objective truth and reason. Truth exists independent of human perception and is rooted in empirical reality and logical consistency. Rational behaviors and things of the such. And we were living in a time where objective truth cannot be necessarily gotten to because primarily the left does not want to debate or have any kind of discussion on certain subjects or issues. And that kind of forbiddenness kind of talk, and first it was hate speech and then it was misinformation. And they decide what is misinformation. And the left is doing it now. Of course, conservatives have done it in the past, or what they would say is religious conservatives have done this in the past. And you'd think that the internet would bring upon a day of logic and reason, but we are basically going against people with logic and reason and just really juvenile emotional behavior. And I guess these people think that they are intellectual and knowledgeable, but they're really not. And or maybe they realize they're not. I cannot decipher what is in their mind. Many of them are extremely authoritarian, and I was arguing with a black South African living abroad in the UK, and I just this was one of the last things that I said to her. Then I said a little bit more, but I said, "You strike me as too self-absorbed, too engaged, too ensnared by cultural narratives to see reality for what it is. My history begins the moment my cells sparked into existence and ends when the worms feast on my remains." And she wanted to mete out with punishment to whites for sins I didn't commit. And when I push back against your abusive, contradictory ideology, you slap me with the label of racist on me. I'm not here for your games. I'm protecting my own well-being and that of my kin, my people. I'll resist you with every fiber of my being to keep your resentment at bay. And here's the kicker. There are millions like me. Silent for now, sure, but we're sleeping giants. When you awaken, mark my words, we'll shield what's ours from your abuse with a ferocity you can't imagine. And then her response, who asked you all of this? Again, she posted a remark, and then she asked me who posted this. And I said, you post your thoughts unburdened, as if the world owes you an audience, yet no one solicited your opinion. I, in turn, respond to the assertions you fling into the void. You, a black South African ingrate, now squatting in the UK, parade your ignorance like a badge of honor. Were you still in South Africa, such folly might be excused as a product of circumstances. But no, you've exported it to Europe and America. You arrive with not the humble plea of the pauper from an impoverished land, but with a petulant swagger of a juvenile delinquent, blind to the fragility of your position. You lean on the government's favor as if it's a shield, obvious to the truth. Regimes shift, and an albatross like you can be cast off to the winds. Turn. So again, you can be, you're arrogant now, you're full of yourself now, but you're living in somebody else's home, acting as a master, acting as a know-it-all. Your country is not a symbol of success. Your nation is filled with barbaric behavior and social squalor. No nation is perfect, but you fled yours. And again, I say this again, Africa goes to Europe more than the other way around. More than Europe goes to Africa. And I am an American of European descent, and I have, you could say I have English heritage and Irish heritage, along with German heritage. And I do not like to see that of my heritage being abused or mistreated by egocentric ingrates who think they know what is best and demanding a form of treatment. Again, it's like, who are you? Where do you come to behave this way? And it's, the argument was over what is happening in South Africa now. And again, if you believe so passionately, you should be living there in South Africa. Show me in practice what you mean. Because again, if you really, I tell most far leftist and anti-racist progressives, you should make a home in South Africa. This one fled, but many of them should make a home in South Africa and show me in practice what they mean. I'm going to go back to myself. I got up early today. It is painful. Sometimes my bones ache, and a person beyond his 50s gets kind of hurt. The bones ache and stuff, but the pain is worth it. But by God, it is painful. And we're living in a time where people are foisting their guilt and their morality on you. And if you dare speak back, they try to punish you. These are very punitive people. And I think the best way to deal with them is with a firm resolve, because if you get angry at them, or if you get angry at them and it's uncontrolled, they will use that against you, because they do have the establishment on their side. And it's kind of good to just sometimes ignore them. Other times it's good to stand firm and do to them what they do to you. I'm going to end on this. This is my response to someone trying to guilt trip me, which is what's happening a lot. And again, whether you are a conservative, a liberal, a moderate, or a liberal, we need objectiveness. And with leftism, and I'm not talking about leftists, because leftists do not believe in freedom, for the most part. They do not believe in freedom of speech, and they do not believe in open dialogue. So this is my response with someone trying to guilt trip me. And I'll end this here. I'll play this and then I'll wrap it up.
My response to someone trying to guilt trip me. So you assert that no one sent you, yet you stand before me as a self-appointed judge, claiming I must atone for the sins of history. You point to nations plundered, to resources seized, and insist that because men who shared my skin tone or distant ancestry committed atrocities, I am somehow complicit, my guilt inscribed at the moment of my conception. My story, you see, begins with the spark, my fertilization, and ends when the worms claim my bones. I am no eternal avatar of the past. I am a man, bound only by my own actions. Yet you demand I surrender my resources, my borders, my peace to parasites, to criminals, murderers, and rapists under the banner of historical grievance. You wield the cudgel of collective shame, insisting that because others, long dead, did terrible things, I must now open my arms to the ungrateful, the violent, the entitled. I reject this outright. If all you bring to my door is the ghost of yesterday's wrongs, I will not yield. I will resist you with every fiber of my being. Your approach to me, my family, my friends, will be met with defiance by nature, by reason. I will fight to keep you and yours at bay. My well-being, my sovereignty are not yours to claim. Prove your worth in the present, or take your guilt-ridden demands elsewhere. I owe you nothing.
I'll end on this. With regards to the culture war, we have very little to do about it. There are powers that be. I mean, if 2020 has shown us anything, it's that there are powers that be, the culturally captured, do not believe in the information superhighway. And, I think I'm going to, I'm going to play one more song. This is on the Legion of Decency, and then I'm going to end it. And I'm against it's not the ADL. The ADL is the new Legion of Decency. And I'm going to end that song on this, and then I'll wrap it up in a bow and say why I resist. But, like I said, I resist not so hard because, again, some fights it ends up getting worse.
The ADL is a Legion of Decency we born. Only they ain't got any guts on them anymore. It's scientists and their holy roster of untouchable tribes. You can't even mutter about white South African farmers getting hacked up or English girls raped by the UK's Muslim grooming crews without them clutching their pearls. Jonathan Greenblatt, he's like Colonel Nicholson from the bridge on the River Kwai. That stiff-necked son of a bitch, except his bridge is slapped together with old progressive slop and fanaticism's his cheap rocker. He's been slugging it down blind, eyes rolled back, till October 7th kicked him in the teeth, baby. But truth, the ADL won't do public Q&As because they know they're hated. And their flimsy gospel folds like a drunken last call when the barfly starts throwing haymakers. Ours are heavy bottle, and these progressive Zionist outfits, ADL and all, chucked it till they puked on the floor. They're no saviors, they're a stinking albatross, choking Zionism, dragging it down to the gutter with their sanctimonious crap. Hypocrisy's their game. Treat you like dogs or worse if you dare disagree. Maybe it's time to floodlight their asses, hit them where it hurts, go after their corporate sugar daddies, strip the mask off and watch them squirm. You don't race it with a fully drunk on control, you cut the bastard's strings and let him blow them. Tribes. You can't even murder about white South African farmers getting hacked up or English girls raped by the UK's Muslim grooming crews without them clutching their pearls. Jonathan Greenblatt, he's like Colonel Nicholson from the bridge on the River Kwai. That stiff-necked son of a bitch, except his bridge is slapped together with both progressive slop and fanaticism just cheap gun. He's been slugging it down blind, eyes rolled back till October 7th kicked him in the teeth, maybe. But truth, the ADL won't do public Q&A, cause they know they're hated, and their flimsy gospel fold like a drunken last call when the barflies start throwing haymakers. Ours a heavy bottle, and these progressive Zionist outfits, ADL and all, chuck it till they puke on the floor. They're no saviors, they're a stinking albatross, choking Zionism, dragging it down to the gutter with their sanctimonious crap. Hypocrisy's their game. Treat you like dogs or worse if you dare disagree. Maybe it's time to floodlight their asses, hit them where it hurts, go after their corporate sugar daddies, strip the mask off and watch them squirm. You don't race it with a fully drunk on control, you cut the bastard's strings and let him fall. Let him fall. Hypocrisy's their game. Treat you like dumb or worse if you dare disagree. Maybe it's time to floodlight their asses, hit them where it hurts, go after their corporate sugar daddies, strip the mask off and watch them squirm.
America fought, when they fought the Japanese, these were men so dedicated they would put the blade to the abdomen before they surrendered. And today we're being overtaken by a group of fanatical progressives who do not have the same type of, they act like they have the same type of dedication, but I think they're mean. They're more mean than they are tough. Perhaps one day we'll see how tough they are. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below.